Look across the room at something far away. If that's a blur, you're not alone. Most people watching this need some kind of help to see clearly, but for almost all of human history, there was no help. No glasses, no contact lenses, no surgery. If your eyes failed you, they failed you forever. So, here's the question. If you were born before glasses existed, in a world that couldn't fix a single blurry eye, how long would someone like you actually last? The answer is stranger than not very long, because the real twist isn't whether you'd survive without glasses, it's whether you'd even need them in the first place. Let's start with the obvious problem. Right now, if your vision is blurry, you reach over, grab your glasses, and the world clicks into focus. You don't think about it. But that little reflex is brand new. For roughly 99% of human history, it was simply not an option. If your eyes were bad, your eyes were bad. Forever. And today, that's most of us. Only about a third of adults keep sharp, uncorrected vision their whole lives. The rest of us would have spent our entire existence seeing a world made of fog. And it's not like people didn't try to fight that fog. They tried for centuries. By around the year 1000, someone discovered that a polished lump of glass laid on a page, a reading stone, would magnify whatever sat underneath it. But look at what these all have in common. They're for reading, for things right in front of your nose. Not one of them helped you see across a field. For distance, the kind of blur that actually got people killed, there was nothing. For thousands of years, nothing at all. So when did the fog-fixing glass actually show up? The first real eyeglasses appeared in northern Italy around the 1280s. We're talking Florence and the surrounding cities. Craftsmen who figured out how to grind glass into lenses you could perch on your nose. But here's the catch, and it's a brutal one. Those first glasses only worked for farsightedness, the kind older people get, where you can't read up close. They were reading aids. For monks, scholars, anyone squinting at tiny text by candlelight. If you were nearsighted, if your problem was seeing things far away, a shape moving at the edge of a field, those glasses did nothing for you. You'd have to wait longer. A lot longer. Lenses that actually correct nearsightedness, concave lenses, didn't show up until around the 1400s and didn't spread until the 1500s. And nobody even understood why they worked until 1604, when Johannes Kepler finally explained the optics. Sit with that. From the first eyeglasses to a working fix for your specific eyes is a gap of 2, maybe 300 years. If you were born nearsighted in the year 1300, glasses technically existed. You could watch an old monk read with them, and they were still completely useless to you. So what did people like you actually do? Mostly, they adapted, or they suffered. A nearsighted farmer could still farm. The work was close to your hands. But a nearsighted hunter? A nearsighted soldier? A nearsighted lookout? You were a liability. You held the group back. Picture it. You're on watch at the edge of camp. Something moves in the tall grass, 40 feet out, a brown shape. Is it a bush? A deer? A wolf? Everyone's counting on you to know. And you genuinely can't tell. In a world where survival depended on spotting things at a distance, blurry eyes weren't an inconvenience. They were a death sentence on delay. But here's where it gets interesting. Because I've been letting you assume something this whole time. And it's wrong. I've been assuming you'd be nearsighted back then at all. You probably wouldn't. This is the part almost nobody knows. Nearsightedness, myopia, is largely a modern condition. And one study proves it almost too perfectly. In the 1960s, a researcher named Francis Young studied Inuit communities in Alaska. The older generation, the grandparents and parents who'd grown up hunting out on the land, had almost no nearsightedness at all. Then he looked at their children. The first generation put through formal schooling, sitting indoors, staring at pages all day. In that single generation, roughly 3 out of 5 had become nearsighted. Same families, same genes, one generation apart. The only thing that changed was the way they lived. And it's not just them. In places like Singapore, Hong Kong, and South Korea, Myopia among young adults has climbed past 80%. Worldwide, a 2016 study in the journal Ophthalmology projected that half the planet will be nearsighted by 2050, up from under a quarter in the year 2000. Your genes didn't change that fast, your world did. So what's making everyone nearsighted? The leading answer: the way we live. Childhood spent indoors, eyes locked onto things up close, books, screens, homework, and almost no time outside in real daylight. The human eye grows during childhood, and it seems to grow wrong when it never gets to focus on the horizon. And researchers keep landing on one factor above all others: daylight. Actual, outdoor daylight. In 2015, a team led by Mingguang. He ran a clean experiment across 12 schools in Guangzhou, China. They gave half the 6-year-olds just 40 extra minutes outside every school day. 3 years later, that one change had cut the rate of new nearsightedness from about 40% down to 30%. 40 minutes of sky a day. That was it. Your growing eyes need to look at faraway things while they're still forming. Take the horizon away. Swap it for a ceiling and a glowing screen a foot from your face, and they quietly grow into the wrong shape. And once that shape is set, it's permanent. In other words, your bad eyes aren't a factory defect. They're a record of your childhood. Every hour you spent reading under a lamp instead of running around outside, your eyes were quietly reshaping themselves to fit that small, close world, which flips the entire question on its head. You weren't born needing glasses. The modern world gave you eyes that need glasses, and then, conveniently, sold you the glasses. So, let's go back to that moment on watch, staring at the shape in the grass. The honest answer is that the you who grew up running outdoors, tracking animals, watching the horizon every single day, that version of you probably would have known exactly what it was. Sharp distance vision wasn't a luxury back then. It was standard equipment, kept sharp by the life you lived. The blurry, squinting version of you, the one who needs to grab glasses off the nightstand, that's not the ancient human. That's the one sitting here, right now, who grew up indoors looking at things 12 inches from their face. There's even a theory that the rare nearsighted person in an ancient group wasn't useless at all. They were the ones who could see fine detail up close, so they made the tools, the weapons, the careful work. The whole tribe needed a few people who couldn't see far. Just not too many. So, what if you were born before glasses? If you were truly born into that world, raised by it, you might never have needed them. But drop the you that exists today, with the eyes today gave you, into the year 1300, you wouldn't last a season. The strangest part isn't that they had no glasses, it's that they barely needed them. And we built a world that may be reshaping our eyes faster than evolution ever prepared us for, then handed us a tiny piece of glass and called it progress. Look across the room again. If that's a blur, that's not how humans were supposed to see. That's just how this world taught you to.